make a statement, oh, we want to ban alcohol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and says, oh, it's just a political statement.
Yeah. Welcome to Hospitality Asia channel on HAPA TV. I'm Jennifer Ong, and today we're with Dato Indera Naresh Mohan, President and CEO of Trinidad Group that has the hotels for Ramada by Wyndham Kuala Lumpur, Trinidad Suites Johor, and Ramada by Wyndham Langkawi. So today, Dato Naresh is going to share with us what's the future plans of all the brands under Trinidad and what are we to expect in 2023. Hi, Dato Naresh.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We have been friends for how long?
Donkey years. Long time.
30 years, I think, almost, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Almost 30 years, yeah.
Almost.
And you're looking the same.
You look fabulous. You look younger.
I think people in the hospitality industry do that. Yeah, so how has it been? And, there's so much of news happening. I've seen so many press releases coming about your group. Tell us what's new? What has happened?
Well, quite a bit, right? Over the last few years, of course, we were going through COVID, and the market shut down and so on. So
how was that? I mean, tell us about that part of the journey. I know it was really tough for hotels.
It was tough. It was tough because there were no tourists coming in at all. And it was tough even on our staff, on our people. We tried to help them as much as we could. I mean, we didn't lay off anybody, but those who resigned, then of course we didn't replace them. But finally, thank God, we pulled through, still standing, and all the hotels intact. And I mean, there was some help from the government. That was very appreciated, very much appreciated. So yeah, but COVID obviously taught us
many lessons.
Many lessons, how to be more resilient and how to multitask, cross-train the staff. Right. So,
but what was the key one, Dato Naresh? What was the key things that, for you, for your group of hotels, that kept you going and kept everything together for you during the COVID time for hotels? Because hotels was one of the toughest industry. It was really, really bad.
I was very lucky. I was very lucky because in 2019, I was successfully made my deal with the MAA Group.
Yes.
And we injected our business into the group. So they own 51% of Hospitality 360.
Right.
And we are partners today, and in a way I can say thank God because they really helped us by keeping us afloat, pumping in the money.
And that was secured in 2019.
That was done in 2019.
Just a year before COVID.
Just a year before.
Wow.
So we're very lucky.
Wow.
And obviously, I mean, everyone understands what happened and that the economy was such. We were shut down and so on and so forth. So obviously, the board understood that, and I was very lucky that they were patient enough, to see us through this period. And now going forward, how are we going to rebuild and grow again? So so many lessons were taught. A lot of belt tightening and so on and so forth. Like I said, when you go through these kind of challenges, you get stronger, you get wiser and stronger. So I think even our own group of people, our staff, they've also learned a lot. And I think they realize also sometimes not to take things so much for granted. They realize how important it is to be with a solid group and to go through some tough times when it arrives. So I think lessons all around.
Isn't it? Yeah. And I think that's why I'm really in awe, and I really, really salute people in the hospitality industry, F&B, tourism. It's amazing how you really sail through, and it's not a month or two.
I'll tell you a crazy story. We opened Trinidad Suites in Puteri Harbour.
Yes.
Johor,
correct.
The market reopened in June, July 2020 after the first MCO.
Yeah, correct.
And we thought, okay, everything was going well and so on. So we took over the property.
What year was that?
January 1, 2021.
Oh my God.
And January 15th, 2021,
It was a long time.
bang, MCO shut down.
Yes.
So we only had 2 weeks to run.
Oh my
And then
God.
it was, we had to literally shut the hotel down because, not so much shut it down, but in the sense that there was no customers.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say was I was grateful was because at that point it was tough to find staff. And I was grateful, actually, thank God it was difficult because,
Right.
had we gone full swing and hired all the staff,
Would have been worse.
we would have been stuck,
Yeah.
and it was just so. Now when I think back, obviously we laugh about it, but it was painful at that point.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about resilience, and that's why for the HAPA Awards this year we said we're gonna introduce the new an additional recognition, for the awards for resilience for hoteliers and of course restaurants as well and spa. And you always think about it and say, it wasn't 1 or 2 months, it wasn't 1 year, it was what, 2.5 years, yeah?
Over 2 years.
So having to stay on for 26, 28 months, and keeping it alive, and then coming back now already opening up for business, it really shows us the amount of resilience in hospitality.
Absolutely.
Really, we underestimated the resilience of hospitality and operators.
And today you can see, I hope the government is also watching because it shows tourism is a very important part of the economy in promoting our country, and you can see how fast it's coming back.
Yeah.
So and all this is happening without China yet.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's just now only start to open.
Right.
And they're slowly trickling in.
Yeah.
But
how are your hotels doing? Are they all running full? I heard 1 or 2 of your hotels is full all the time.
Absolutely.
So is that the revenge traveling coming back?
Part of it. And what I'm pleased to see is that we're getting new kind of customers, right? We have people from Turkey, from Poland, and so on, which we never had before, right? We still get a bit of the Koreans and, of course, the Singaporeans and all. They love our property. But last month, we received, for the first time, a group from Poland. That was something different.
Yeah.
And so on. So we see a lot of shift in the Middle European, Central European countries.
Right.
They are now coming out.
Right.
Russians, I heard, also are coming out quite a bit.
Okay. So you've got new markets coming in. Right, and how about what is your expectation of China market when it comes in? How is it going to make a change, do you think, to, for example, your properties?
Well, I think my personal opinion is the China business will be coming in, but it'll be a bit different this time around. I don't think you're going to have those masses, waves of tour buses and tour groups like before. I think partly COVID changed that. But you will see a lot of more independent groups, independent travelers.
Right.
And they will go in smaller groups, but they will travel
Would
together.
it be more quality travelers? Would it be? Or?
I think so. I think so. They because when you have independent groups like that, smaller groups, they're not going to be like sheep, brought from one place to another, and so on, where the travel agent dictates everything and so on. Right. These smaller groups, they want their independence, they want their freedom, they want to experience things. They don't want to be on a clock. Yeah. This time to this time lunch, and then from here you go to this, and then bang, bang, bang.
Correct.
So I think those days are over.
Right. So you think that pattern has changed? The travel experience have changed, and I think it's really not so much of exploring, but more experiencing.
Experiencing. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's really good.
You will see also now people will be going out of KL more. Going into the secondary destinations in Malaysia. There's a big demand for ecotourism. Yes. And I think you will see that more. That will definitely improve. Even the homestays, and I think they will definitely benefit from all this. and then going to the waterfalls and
Yeah.
elephant sanctuary
Right,
and stuff like that.
Not so much the city tour or the travel. I mean, what do you call the shopping and stuff, right? I think now is really
Again,
experiencing on
that is
things.
what COVID has done, right? Because people have learned how to shop online,
Yes,
and many things now they buy online anyway.
correct.
So they're not going to come to KL and necessarily go into a shopping mall for specifically buying,
Yeah.
unless there's something specific.
Correct.
But they'll probably come here and they'll spend 1 or 2 days walking around town, and then
Yeah.
after that they want to go somewhere.
Yeah,
For
and
an
that was why
experience.
Dato Naresh, I read in the news a couple of days ago about our tourism minister is actually saying, travel agencies cannot put shopping as one of the itineraries in that, and it has to be more of the cultural visit, the heritage.
Well,
and
I
visitation
completely
tourism.
agree and fully support Dato Sri Tiong's
Yes.
statement.
Yeah.
I think that's a very wise statement. Of course, I understand the travel agent, what they want to make some commission and so on and so forth, but they need to also maybe now learn to think out of the box and
Yeah.
and
Like
and
you
look
say, drive experience,
drive
right?
experiences.
More than, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right. Okay, and can you tell us then about your 3 properties? So we know there's Hotel Ramada by Wyndham KL is also under your group,
Mhm.
the Trinidad Suites Johor, and of course Ramada by Wyndham Langkawi. Just give us a little bit of what we're going to expect from these 3 hotels moving forward with all these changes taking place.
Well, we started investing about over a year ago. We now have a strategic tie-up with the Wyndham Group. We
Oh.
are now a strategic partner for management.
Right?
So if, let's say, somebody approaches Wyndham for running the hotel, Wyndham will franchise the brand. We would be the management partner.
Oh, is that
that goes in.
is for Malaysia, the whole Asia?
For now, Malaysia.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So the target is to hit 16 hotels by 2027.
16.
16, and I'm happy to
Just
say
in Malaysia.
just in Malaysia.
Wow.
Well, we're already
How many do you
halfway
have now?
there.
Oh, halfway there already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, different brands, not one brand.
Yeah.
Under the Wyndham umbrella, I think they've got like 16, 20 brands under them. So obviously, a whole array of brands. And then as I say, in Puteri Harbour, we launched for the first time our own brand, Trinidad Suites,
Yes.
which is, let's say, our upscale brand. And when this year we are going to launch our 3-star brand called Trigo. And what we've done is we've tied up all our brands under the Wyndham collection.
I see.
So while it is branded as an independent brand,
Yes.
but it will be, for example, Trinidad Suites, Puteri Harbour, a trademark collection by Wyndham.
Right.
So we will have access to the global distribution system. We'll have access to all the Wyndham benefits.
And of course, your travelers also benefits from it.
Oh yeah,
because then
absolutely. We can issue points on the Wyndham Rewards program and so on. So
that's very
so
smart
that
move.
so that will be a big benefit.
Is that a game changer for you?
I think so, because what we have managed to do now is as I said, last year we invested in changing the whole property management system for the hotels.
Right.
So all the hotels today are on one system. And therefore, it allows us to build our own central reservation. It allows to do central marketing, sales. Everything can be centralized, and everything can be viewed from the head office.
Right.
So decisions can be done
Quick and
better,
fast,
quick
yeah,
and fast,
right.
more accurate, and so on, because we have the real-time data with us,
Right.
and so forth. So.
But what about talent, though? It's now there's a challenge of shortage of talent, right? Hospitality talent. With so many expansion, so many hotels coming up, how do you then work on the talent for your group?
First, we have to understand and accept that the method or the talent pool has shrunk by a big amount.
Shrunk,
there is a gig economy where people want to work with total freedom. They don't want to have a 9-to-5 job anymore.
Yeah.
They want to work when they want to work, and they want to take time off when they want to take time off.
Yeah.
And yet they still want to earn a good amount of money.
Yeah.
So, I read somewhere in a hotel journal, the industry has lost more than 30% of their workforce who went into the gig economy and they're not coming back.
Come back.
They're not coming back.
Yeah.
So the only way to go is automation. Hence why I said to you, invested in the PMS, we invested in systems.
Yeah.
We have to automate. And as I said earlier also, we have to cross-train. We have to multitask.
Yeah.
We have to teach ourselves to operate the hotel with lesser people. And maybe pay them higher, better salaries.
Because it's lesser people anyway.
Lesser people, better salaries, but they are more driven and they are more, let's say, multitask, as I said. They can do, they have multiple talents.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The touch points are important though, right?
Yes.
So basically you can use tech and technology on areas that requires the efficiency, but then you have the important touch points is where you have the human connection.
Absolutely. I mean, we are in the hospitality business, so obviously that human connection and all that is still very relevant.
Yeah.
Very important. But we've also introduced, for example, robots. So for example,
for the hotels.
For the hotels. So from now, when you call in Ramada KLCC, if you call for extra towels or water or whatever,
that a robot brings.
A robot delivers. So we
really?
call him the red bot because Ramada being red, right? So he's the red bot. And
how many of those running around?
We have 2 right now.
Wow.
One in the front office and one in housekeeping.
Does it speak?
Yeah, it speaks, even sings you happy birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
For those of you who want to try, to experience a stay when you have robots coming to you and singing happy birthday, then go to Ramada.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ramada,
absolutely.
KL.
So we're rolling that out for all our hotels.
And so it's only available at Ramada KL right now? Ramada
right now
Wyndham?
in Ramada KLCC, and then soon we are...
Trinidad and Langkawi?
It's coming because it has to integrate, we have to do the back-end integration with the lifts.
Of course, yeah.
And the phone system. So that API connectivity is being done now.
Oh,
every hotel, because of they have different systems, right? Different lifts and so on.
Correct.
So we have to go back to the manufacturers,
to
configure all that. Right. So once that's done, then
you can just execute it. Nice. And how about, I'm actually very keen to just also know about the Ramada Wyndham Langkawi. How is the Langkawi market? And, is it really opening up really well? Is it, hotels are running full? Or how is the Langkawi market like now?
Langkawi is a tough call because it's a bit up and down. When the market opened up last year, we were doing very well. There was a lot of staycations, there was a lot of domestic business. And then there were some tourists coming in as well, but let's say occupancy was good. But towards the end of the year, with the monsoon season and so on, the rain and all that, then you could see the occupancy dipping. I'm a bit concerned about Langkawi because I don't know. We in Malaysia we always we tend to shoot ourselves in the foot all the time.
I like that statement.
Yeah, because suddenly in November, when just ramping up to bring in the tourists and so on, and then some minister or some Menteri Besar or something will make a statement, oh, we want to ban alcohol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and says, oh, it's just a political statement. Yeah. But he doesn't realize in today's world, that news travels super fast.
So fast, yeah.
And as soon as he said it, within a few hours, we start getting phone calls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people saying, hey, I heard this is what's happening, and what, we may want to cancel our trip. And so on and so forth.
Okay.
And this is what causes Langkawi to lose. And of course, all kinds of silly things about sometimes, about people and their attire and so on. So
there's a lot of restrictions coming in.
Correct. But in the meantime, if you look at our competitors, right? If you look at Phuket, you look at Bali, they are booming. The question is, why are we not? Right?
There's so much potential anyway in Langkawi.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to say, we don't have the connectivity, right? We're very slow off the block in terms of bringing in more connectivity to Langkawi.
Right.
I don't know why they insist that their flights have to go through KLIA when there's no reason why they cannot have flights straight to Langkawi.
Right.
Charter flights go straight to Langkawi anyway.
Yeah.
So the airport is fully equipped. It's an international airport. They can, Lima is hosted at,
Langkawi.
So the airport is fully equipped.
Right.
So I really hope the government will look into this, and they really need to expand on the connectivity and bringing in more airlines more
yeah.
flights into
Langkawi.
Langkawi. I mean, KL, of course, but Langkawi especially.
Yes.
Is very important for the survival of Langkawi.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place. It's a beautiful island. So much you can do, and you know, it's. If you talk about Bali or Phuket or Koh Samui or anywhere, I mean, Langkawi is just as beautiful, if it's not
Absolutely,
more. You can do so much.
Yes,
there, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is, it's when people, you must look at it from the eyes of the tourists. So if I'm in Central Europe and I'm looking at Southeast Asia, and I look at Thailand, I look at Malaysia, I look at Indonesia, and so on and so forth, then you start to understand the differences, and you realize that, okay, it's a lot easier just to go to Phuket, or it's a lot easier to go to Bali, and and so on and so forth.
Right.
It's not always about the price. Sometimes when I meet the minister, they talk about how Malaysia is very affordable, very cheap. The rates, especially ringgit, is low, and so on and so forth. And I remind them that when
it's not just
for the Europeans, when they go to a holiday, they're not looking at saving 10 euros a night or 20 euros a night. They're ready to spend it.
Yeah.
What they want is to have that experience and to have the ease of travel, hassle-free travel.
Comfort, convenience, hassle-free, and experiential. Oh, I totally agree. I think that's where hospitality experience in the future we're talking about.
Exactly.
That's why I think I'm so really impressed with the fact that your group of hotels have gone into combining technology to make it really easy, efficient, and convenient for all your travelers, but yet having the human connection there.
Absolutely.
And that part, right?
That, like I said, human factor is a must.
It's still a must and very important, right? And that having being said, of course, congratulations to Dato Naresh for all 3 of the properties being nominated in the HAPA Awards Malaysia series.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2022-2023.
Next year we hope you'll judge on 10 hotels.
Yes, I'm so happy. Now 3. It's like, okay, there's 16 coming, and that calls for why also Dato Naresh Mohan has also been nominated for Hospitality Entrepreneur of the Year for HAPA Awards Malaysia series as well, right? I mean, you look at
it's a surprise.
Listening to what you're saying, but you're a veteran in the industry. I mean, you've been in the industry for what?
3 decades now.
3 decades, right? And yet still standing, still here, still opening more and more hotels. Obviously, there is something in you. There is something in you. There is something about hospitality that you are so passionate and whatever or not, despite all the challenges that come your way.
My wife calls me a stubborn old fool. Just go on and go on.
Yes. Do you agree with her?
Sometimes. The fool part, maybe not. But stubborn, yeah.
Yeah. So what is it? What is it with you hoteliers? What is it with all, with hotel owners that keeps going back and keeps opening hotel despite these challenges? And you've got so many things running in. There are now new challenges. There's talent problem. There is all this stuff. What is it in there that
I think
keeps you going?
first of all, you must be passionate. I mean, you must love the business you're in, and it's obvious I do. I do, right? I love the business I'm in, and I enjoy being in hospitality and opening up hotels and training the people and bringing guests in and selling the hotel, selling the country, selling the destination, right? I do road trips sometimes also with the Ministry of Tourism and so on, and it's fun, and so I think it's important to enjoy what you do.
Right.
So we definitely do enjoy what we do, despite the stress and
the long hours.
And the long hours, But yeah. So.
Is it really, for I mean, we understand that hospitality has long hours, but then again, if you look at the other industry, there are other industries that also has long hours. Yeah, not only hospitality industry has long hours, but being in the hospitality business, especially as hotel owners, really looking at everything on a large scale, including numbers and making sure things are performed, people are performing, properties are performing. is it true that you are married to the business when you're running this business? Is it really what people say, you're married to the business?
In a way, yes. I mean, you know, because this is a live business, right? It's 24/7.
And you have so many people under.
Yeah,
You know,
and you are responsible for, you know, overall running and safety and so on of the guests and your staff and so on. So it's a live animal that you have to be constantly watching, and anything can go wrong at any moment. It just sometimes just takes one spark, and then you start getting, you know, phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's trouble.
Yeah, and crisis management has to be,
so
be really.
So, you know, so that's where, you know, I always believe training is very, very important. Having your SOPs and your you know, sometimes people ignore. They always find things like, oh, fire drill, I hate fire drill, this, that, but you never know
when it comes,
when it's going to come in handy. So, you know, we have now a group health and safety officer that goes around and he does the audits on health and safety.
That's good.
And he's the one that's going to organize all these emergency procedures and fire drills and all this kind of, in case of any emergency, what do you do?
Exactly.
Right. His job is to train the people and train our staff and so on, and make sure, even right down to details about signages and so on, to make sure that everything's in place.
It's in place, right?
He does a full audit.
In the event of emergency, right? I mean, we never know with things that are changing nowadays, with the weather that's changing, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, for example, like tsunami, whoever knew that there was a tsunami, and when it happened, you know, everyone panicked. And, you know, absolutely important. I mean, now that you mentioned, I'm actually looking at it from that level where, you know, you're not just responsible for the staff, you know, and the employees of your team.
No, all your guests.
All your guests as well, especially in the
bearing in mind that some of them don't even speak the language.
Yes.
You know, some of them don't understand English or Malay for that matter.
Yeah.
So that's why I said right down to even how the signages are presented within the building is very, very important.
Important, no? Yeah, and I really love that point of what Dato Naresh mentioned about, you know, really looking at the attention to details, where the importance of the guest is looked after in the event of an emergency. And that's always something, that area that people don't look into, because how many % of the time you get emergency?
And, you know, sometimes they don't want to spend the money.
Yeah,
but I think it's important, and it's something that you know, when something actually happens, then you'll say, thank God I did it. Thank God I spent that money, and thank God I put in the, you know, all the protocols and so on. There was training done and so on and so forth.
Correct. Especially in a hotel property, you have so many floors. You know, even for example, the CCTVs, like how many CCTVs are there in every floor?
Correct.
Does it really capture, you know, in case, again, of emergency and stuff like that?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, that's the same point. That's a salient point. That's really important. So come back to, let's say, you know, so things have changed, after COVID, people's expectation, customer behavior, the whole travel experience have changed. What is it that you're doing for your hotels that to stay relevant to what's coming, like you said earlier about convenience and stuff? How, you know, what kind of travel experience and hospitality experience are you putting into place for 2023 and beyond?
Well, as I said, automation is definitely a big thing. The next thing we're rolling out is we're doing now the API connectivity testing for our own self-check-in machine.
Okay.
I find
for all your hotels?
It will be rolled out to all properties. Because surveys have shown that people today, they how shall I say, they prefer less human interaction. They would rather go in and do their own check-in and go straight to their room, and they don't want to be queuing up in the reception and so on. And same time during checkout as well, right? They just go to the machine and surrender the key card.
But at that point, right? I mean, you're a veteran in this industry. You know what is the international standards of 5-star hotel, international standards of, you know, different hotels. For a 5-star hotel, following the international standards, are you allowed to say automate all your check-in without a human connection, human person checking you in? Does that take away the 5-star, so-called 5-star rating or 5-star standards?
Well, first of all, it doesn't take away the 5-star rating at all. But would five-star hotels do it? To be honest, they've been doing it for a long time. You know, I remember the days, even 10, 20 years ago, where they have what we call express checkouts.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
you just literally drop your key card and go.
off. Correct.
Right? And so on. So this is a form of express checkout. So it is not about not providing the service. It's giving options. So I'm not advocating to totally have zero front office staff.
Right.
All I'm saying is you need to have options. And but in today's world, I find more and more people actually are looking for things like that. They would rather, and they're used to it.
And their convenience anyway,
Correct.
right?
And they're used to it, you know, because I mean, those were the days when you would exit a car park and there would be a counter with someone in there and collecting that $1 for your car park. And today it's all automated, it's all machines. You go to the machine, you put in your ticket, pay the money, and then you go to your car and drive off. And then you have a 15-minute window to get out, right? So hotels, checking in, checking out, this works very well for the business hotels, city hotels, and you know the 3-star, 4-star hotels. This works very
really well, right?
Because it helps you cut on the the biggest cost in a hotel is manpower.
Yes.
Right. Your wages is the biggest cost, and if that can help you cut down in view of the fact that you have a labor shortage, in view of the fact that 30% of the people have left the industry and they're not coming back, and so on. Today I have a robot, and
I think it's wonderful. I like the fact that there is options given, so you choose. It's just like those days, right, when we first have touch and go and smart tag. And I can never understand at that time, like, why on earth would you have a lane that is done for smart tag and then for touch and go, and then you still have a lorong tunai? Like, why would you still want a cash lane? Like, why can't you just convert everything and automate everything, right? But of course, it's a transition of transitioning people from over time. And likewise, in immigration, where you can either queue up and queue up and see somebody to chop your passport, or you go through the automated, right?
Yes.
So I think that is, really a brilliant way, because then you offer the people who wants convenience, efficiency, and fast, and just go on. Don't worry about no human person in front of me.
Correct.
And versus the traditional old school, you just want to queue up, you want to wait,
And sometimes also, it's a language barrier.
Yeah.
So again, but the machines, it's for them, it's better to go to the machine and check in. Without having to struggle in terms of speaking English or Malay. I mean, the Japanese guy is maybe not very fluent in English, so he may struggle to check in at the counter.
Correct. But does that require heavy investment, though?
I don't think anymore. Those were the days when something like this would cost, an arm and a leg. But nowadays, there are systems out there which are quite affordable.
Right.
And they also come with, let's say, if you like, a leasing scheme or pay-as-you-go, rent-to-own kind of schemes where you pay it over 2 years, 3 years, and so on. So there are already vendors out there doing this.
And you are already looking at all this.
Yeah. So as I said, we already selected the vendor. He's already doing the testing now. In fact, the machine is right in our lobby right now, and the testing is ongoing.
Great.
So,
and it will be all applicable to all your 16 hotels?
It will be in all the hotels.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in future, you could also book your next hotel from that machine as well. So it's not only going to be about checking in and checking out, but also being able to book into the hotel, to your next destination. If we have a hotel that you can book and get a preferred rate because you're within the group kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So I think all that. And one other thing I would like to touch on that we're doing is obviously from a green perspective, right? So we've removed all the plastic straws and we've removed all the amenity bottles from the room and all that. So we're going away from single-use plastics.
Yeah, like water bottles, everything.
So that's the last one that we're doing now. We're tying up with a group, and we'll be having water purifiers in the room.
Good.
Or at least on every floor, depending on property to property, the configuration.
Yes.
But we'll have that access, and with the tumblers,
Yes.
and so forth. So
Beautiful.
you'll have bottled water rather than the plastic.
Yes, yes. And that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, Dato Naresh, I was in Dublin last year, and I stayed in a hotel where they gave a recycled bottle. Yeah, it's a recycled bottled water. And then, you know, it's written there very clearly that, you know, you can go downstairs and refill your bottle.
Yes.
They give you 2-3 bottles and you refill it. And it's nice. Well, it can be inconvenient, but, you know, it's just downstairs to take a lift down, you know, fill it up and come back
Correct.
up. I think that's really one of the, because water bottles usage, consumption is very high. Likewise, like you said, the amenities, these are all very high consumption in
Correct.
plastic, right?
And there's a lot of wastage.
A lot.
You know,
a
because
lot of
you know
wastage,
sometimes
yeah.
I see sometimes when we have a meeting over a table, everyone has a bottle.
Yes.
And some of them only drink
Correct.
half. Some even just drink a little bit.
Yes.
But there's nothing you can do about
Correct.
that. Once it's open and someone's drunk from it, you got to get rid of it.
Exactly.
After that. You know,
Exactly,
you can't recycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this case, you know, you provide the glassware, you provide the tumblers, and so forth, the flask,
Yeah.
and then people can consume as they
want to, yeah.
as required.
I think that's really moved forward as well. You know, eco is beyond just towel usage. Those days were like, oh, you know, put a note and say you don't want to change your sheets or don't want to change your towel. But now that's the simplest part.
That's normal,
right?
yeah.
What really is the like you said, the high wastage and the high consumption.
Correct. So
and
single-use plastics is something we are working on and
well.
making sure we eradicate that.
That's really good.
In the next few months. All our properties will not have
right.
the water bottles anymore.
Fantastic. And of course, I think hotels and restaurants, especially hotels, has very high wastage of food wastage as well. Yeah. So those are all the areas that, you know, eco. Well, we talk about eco, and that's
correct.
What people
Correct.
contributing, right? Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it's amazing to see how much the brands under Dato Naresh leadership has really grown, and how you've really expanded your business, and how you courageously always, you know, I never fail to be so interested in Dato Naresh's story. You know, it's always you talk about roller coaster up and down. This one is like an unimaginable roller coaster. Never seen such people before. He's the type that we call fall 10 times and get up 11 times.
Absolutely. You must always get up, no matter what.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, Dato Naresh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for just, you know, sharing your story and being here with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. That was Dato Naresh Mohan, President and CEO of Trinidad Group. And thank you so much also for following HAPA TV on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. See you soon in our next few episodes. Thank you.